Hey, welcome everybody here to our live Q&A here with Lucha Underground Senor referee,
Senor, because it's Lucha.
Yes, Marty Elias. Welcome to our live Q&A.
Thank you.
Some guests here. Sorry, not customers. They're not customers right now.
Yeah.
He bought one. So, you know what? Let me start off by asking you really quick. Lucha Underground, the temple moved. I asked the Joseph yesterday. The temple moved.
What did he say?
Yeah, he said yeah. The temple moved this season, and he's really excited about the new location and the way it's built and everything. The new temple. Have you seen it? And how excited are you for the new for the fans to see it? And how excited were you when you first saw it?
Yes, and I'm very, very excited to see what the reactions are going to be of everybody who's coming in. You know, just from some of the guys who are flying in today, and just seeing their reactions when they're walking in and we're showing them around. I mean, just to see the look on their faces. Last week, Johnny and Taya were in there, and it was the first time Johnny had seen it. And you could just see Johnny's wheels just start spinning, man. You could just see him, and he's like salivating, just going like, it's like a whole new playground, man. And it's like a whole new canvas. I mean, if you're a painter or an artist, I mean, you got a whole new canvas to paint and make some great art. I mean, and I think that's pretty much what the new temple is going to bring to season 4. And I honestly think that the whole vibe of this new place and the vibe is going to be something different. I think it's going to take Lucha Underground to the next level.
I know DJ said yesterday, or Chris Joseph said yesterday, that it's going to be very loud. I guess because of the way it's set up and everything, it's going to be louder than the old temple.
Yeah, and the reason why is because in the old temple we had we didn't have walls. In this one, there's 4 walls.
Right.
You know, so now instead of the crowd and noise and everything just kind of dissipating, going off into the distance because it was so wide open, is that now there's 4 walls, and some of the additions that they made, you know, we're going to be able to accommodate some more believers, and it's going to be fun to see everybody go ape shit there. So.
Just let our guests know if you have any questions. Just put your hand up, and we'll get to you. Don't be shy either, okay? And
hey, real quick too, on Facebook too, if Little Cholo has a question or everything, you know, just turn it off now because I'm not going to answer shit. So, there you go, Puto.
You heard it already, camera guy. If Little Cholo has any questions, just ignore him.
He's banned on Facebook Live.
Yes, he is. There you go. Ha ha.
You know, yesterday, the Joseph said that.
As well, buckwheat.
Buckwheat. The Joseph said that you guys have worked together for years. And that when he came up to you about working for Lucha Underground, did you even have an idea what it was going to be about? Or?
No, he kayfabed me.
How?
And how it's funny because I was out on tour. Well, no, I take that back. I was actually, he called me up because he was working on the Fourth and Loud, the KISS series on AMC, the one about the arena football.
Oh, okay.
He was doing that show, and and of course everybody knows that I'm a huge KISS fan. So, so
no wonder he called you.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey man, I'm doing the KISS show, man," and he actually hooked me up with some tickets and stuff. They did an acoustic show, and he hooked me up with some people and whatever. So he goes, "Hey man, I'm getting ready to interview for this show." He's like, "I know it's a wrestling project, but I really don't know what it is." So, all right, cool. I said, you know, he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to quit." I go, "Dude, you're quitting KISS. Why would you do that?"
Right. And
he's like, "No, dude, I'm going to go. It's going to be something." He's like, "Hey, it's a wrestling project." He goes, "If it turns out to be something, would you like to do it?" And I went, At the time, I was done with wrestling.
Yeah.
I was like over it. I was actually getting ready to go out on tour with Rob Zombie.
Really?
Yeah.
So you really like your rock music?
Love my music.
Yeah. Are you a fan of the movies, the Rob Zombie films?
The first Halloween, yes. Everything else, I'm not really a gore guy. I'm more of a comedy, romantic type guy. Yes.
We have a Facebook question.
Yes, Joe would like to know what is the biggest star this season.
Who is the biggest star this season?
This season?
Or who do you feel is going to be the biggest star of the season?
of the season.
You know what? Let me rephrase that because that sounds like a spoiler question.
It is.
Who do you feel from all the seasons that's returning this year will be the breakout star that maybe hasn't been able to shine yet, and this will be their year to shine?
I'm going to twist it and throw it back and say all of them.
All of them. There you go.
The whole roster.
We have another Facebook question, and then we'll get your question.
I have a question, and it's from a guy that's unknown, but he wants to know if you could do the Arn Anderson voice.
Tell him no, because I know who that is.
Do you want to say who it is?
It's Cholo.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Well, sorry.
Okay.
David mentioned before how when he asked you a question about when Christian Joseph asked you about Lucha. So then once you actually went to the temple and went there for the first time, like what were your initial thoughts about just the whole thing, seeing the temple and basically the whole crew getting everything ready for the?
Well, I actually seen the temple before it was the temple, and I was on a tour, and during the last week of the tour, DJ was really, he's like, hey man, I want you to meet these guys. The guys turned out to be Eric and Tony. So I said, yeah, sure, man. So he's like, when do you get back? So I go, I'll get back next week. So I actually went in, met, negotiated a contract, got everything straightened out. And the thing is, too, a lot of people don't know, but behind the scenes, I'm actually in charge of the rings and maintaining the rings. I'm like the maestro of the rings. When you guys see a Lucha Underground show and everything, our great set designer, Kelly and Nancy, and those guys do the setting up and all that. But I fine tune, make sure that the props and things are safe and we all go. So Lucha Underground doesn't start tapings until I sign off on the ring and all that other good stuff. So that's part of my gig too, aside from being the senior referee.
You know what? Going back to the ring though, that also goes back to WWE, right?
Yes.
A lot of the referees are the ones that pretty much put the ring together and make sure everything's good to go.
It's one of these things, that a lot of people perceive referees just as referees.
Yeah.
But referees do a lot behind the scenes. And I always like to say that referees are the unsung heroes of this business because there's so much that we do, so much that we see, so much that, bless you, so much that we know, but yet we don't get that credit or... But that's okay, I remember 10 years ago it insulted me. But now, when indie promoters or somebody hit me up and they want to book me and they go, hey, I'll give you $20 and a bag of popcorn. I was like, no, thank you. Respectfully.
Right.
Respectfully, because it's one of those things, I'm not going to whore myself out, nor am I going to go do that because I've already done that.
Yeah.
And it's not an ego thing. It's just that I'm not going to go do that again.
Yeah, especially it's not worth it for $20
it's not worth it
and
to
a
me.
bag of popcorn.
Or my wife.
Right. We have another Facebook question.
Yes, Carlos would like to know what is your favorite moment of Lucha Underground?
Your favorite Lucha Underground moment?
My favorite moment right now is the Triad and Pentagon. That was so much fun. And the reason why is because I actually was one of the guys, along with DJ, who pushed to bring in those Japanese girls from Stardom. And that's how we found Thunder Rosa. Remember that Thunder Rosa, Cobra? That's where we found you. So
I know she's listening.
So we found those girls, and they were able to do it schedule wise, and it was so amazing to work with all of them. And of course, one of those darling girls is now at NXT,
right?
And it was great working with them because I'm a huge fan of Io. I mean, Io is just off the hook. Her and Mickey James are probably my two all-time favorites ever. Mickey, I love you. Io, I hope to see you soon.
We have a question right here in the front.
Sure.
Hey Marty, I gotta kind of put you on the spot here. Ever since Lucha Underground started from season 1, I've just been it's getting a lot of critical acclaim. What do you feel as far as being part of the process? What do you feel is what do you think needs to happen in order for Lucha Underground to become even bigger than it is right now? Do you think it's reached its peak?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, there's still a long way to go. And you got to figure, Lucha Underground is not a wrestling promotion. We're a wrestling show. We're a TV show. And the misconception is that people try and put us in with a promotion like WWE or Impact or Ring of Honor. We're a TV show. We're seasonal. And here's the thing. You got to figure, if you look at Friends and you look at all these other popular shows that really just took off and were real big hits. If you look at the history of those shows really didn't do much their first 4 or 5 seasons, whatever, until they really got a fan base and following. And I know Lucha Underground right now with MGM and Factory Made and the LLC, they're doing a lot of different things behind the scenes to get Lucha Underground noticed. You know, we're getting new deals in Asia, we're getting new stuff in Japan, and you know, we're seeing in Germany. You know, so there's a lot of new things, untapped markets that Lucha Underground hasn't hit thus far. The UK is a great example, but I'm sure that once we hit the UK, we hit all these other different markets that have been untapped, then sky's the limit. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'd like to say that Lucha Underground is still getting its wheels under it, and there's a lot of TV people who didn't understand the wrestling game, and they're understanding the wrestling game now. And with that being said, you haven't seen the last of Lucha Underground.
Okay, follow-up question.
Sure.
So, in saying that, what would you, because I'm pretty sure y'all run into a lot of things in putting this thing together. Looking back on what you've done thus far, is there anything different that you would change, or is there any flavor you would add to Lucha Underground to make it even better than it already is?
No, I think Lucha Underground is right on course with what everybody's perceiving it or wanting it to be. Could some things have changed? Yeah. But am I going to say no? But the thing is, I mean, with everything else that is fresh and new, you kind of play with things and you see what works and what doesn't work. And Lucha Underground, I think right now, is seeing stuff that works and stuff that didn't work. And right now, like I said, I think season 4 is going to be off the chart, and I think people are really going to be amazed that we're going to the next level. And a lot of people should really be on the lookout, because I think it's going to frighten a lot of other people. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we have another question right here.
My other question is when he mentioned before about just introducing new fans to Lucha Underground. If you had to pick at least 3 episodes that you think would convince somebody to watch all of Lucha Underground, which episodes do you think will help them to love Lucha as much as other people have?
All night long.
I think all of them, but you're absolutely right. The all night longs are great matches. I mean, Puma and Willie were just off the hook.
Yeah.
And I think the very first No Mas match with Sexy Star and Mariposa, because if you really look at it, Lucha Underground put the women on the map with that match. I mean, there's a Diva Revolution and there's a woman stuff and everything, but we did that almost 2 years ago. So if you really look at the landscape, it's like Lucha Underground was already setting the bar for stuff. So people like to follow. That's what I like to say.
We have another Facebook question.
Sure.
Yeah, Steve would like to know, is Pimpinela, right?
Pimpinela?
Pimpi!
Pimpi.
Coming back for season 4 for just one more
Yeah,
match.
is Pimpinela coming back for season 4? Do you know?
You should ask Chris or Joseph that question.
Yeah. Why didn't you guys ask that one yesterday?
I only worked there.
You know what? Going back to the Chris or Joseph, you had a successful run with WWE. You had a lot of great matches, called a lot of great matches. Got to referee a lot
I
of great
should
matches.
still be calling matches, but that's another story.
Right. Well, we're going to get to that. So when he gives you the call to go to Lucha Underground, and just like you said, it's not a pride thing. I mean, ego thing. When say no, not for $20 and a bag of popcorn. Were you kind of worried, like, do I really want to get involved in this?
Absolutely. I had my doubts. I really had my doubts. But the thing that made me say, okay, I'm going to go do this, is because I respect Krista Joseph. I respect his work. I love him as a human being. And I knew that he was going to make sure that if this thing was going to happen, it was going to be the best that it could be. And I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith and I said yes. And, ultimately I found out what it was. And I just went like, holy shit, this is going to be something. And to be sitting here today and getting ready for season 4, it's like, my, look at where we are.
Did you know after the very first episode, did you think we would see a season 4?
I think we're going to see a season 15.
So, there you go. We had another Facebook question.
Yes, Junior would like to know what you think about Mariachi Loco.
Junior would like to know what you think of Mariachi Loco.
Mariachi Loco is a puto.
You know,